Oh, perfect. Man, you really do try to put me on a test, don't you?
You're welcome, man. Hey, before we begin this, I just want to point this out. It wasn't recording, so we had to redo the intro. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the KZ Community Beat. I'm your host, Ross Martinez. It's my first day. Welcome to an edition of the KZ Cares program. I'm joined by Brent Oest, the Development Director of Crittenton Centers, a Peoria nonprofit that's been a lifeline for families and children for over 125 years here locally. Welcome to Crittenton Center, to the KZ Cares program for the month of May, and more importantly, to the KZ family. Give it up, give it up, give it up! Woo! And that's Brent. What's up, man?
Hey, Ross, I appreciate the opportunity to chat with you.
We had a redo right there.
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
What did they say? Murphy's Law sometimes?
That's just between you and me, I think.
No, too late. It's out there.
No, it's out there now. Yeah.
So, you know, we already answered this offline. But let's talk about this again. Give me the quick elevator pitch for Crittenton Centers, and not the business one, the one that speaks to the soul essence of the organization and the good work you do here in Peoria.
Sure. We're all about children and families. That's a pretty broad umbrella, but under that umbrella, we've served the needs of children and families in Peoria, Tazewell, and Woodford County for 135 years. That could either be we were initially founded as a home for unwed moms. We did adoption services for decades upon decades. And then now our goal is we protect and nurture children and families. We have our crisis nursery program, which most folks know us for locally, but we also have our home visiting programs, our milestones programs, and our family advocacy center.
So let's go more into those programs. Crisis Nursery, you said?
That's right. What
right. Is I've never heard that term before.
Sure. Crisis Nursery. Our Crisis Nursery has been around since 1980. We had the very first Crisis Nursery in the state of Illinois.
I was born in 1989.
Oh my gosh. I remember where I was at in 1980. That's a little scary if you were born there and I remember where I was doing.
I was next to my mother.
Oh, boy. But yeah, we had the first Crisis Nursery in the state of Illinois in 1980, and now there's 8 different crisis nurseries throughout the state. They're not all Crittenton's crisis nurseries, but our board chair at the time lobbied for the laws and was able to do the hard work to get that passed, and now there's 8 other locations throughout the state.
So what entails into the crisis nursery?
Sure. Crisis nursery, what's crisis? We don't define crisis at Crittenton Centers. We let the family, the parents define crisis. What may be a crisis for me may not be a crisis for this mom or dad. I have an example. Last year, I had horrible car problems most of all year. It was a pain, hit my pocketbook. That wasn't fun, but overall, it wasn't that big of an impact to me. But you think about maybe the single mom, who might quite possibly has a flaky babysitter. She's missed work twice in the last month. Now she comes outside, she's got a flat tire.
Crisis.
That's a crisis for her.
Yeah.
I worked from home that day. Big deal. For her, she may not have her check next Friday to feed her family.
Because she can't make it to work.
If she can't make it to work. And again, these are 3 things that may not have been her fault. Maybe say her babysitter flaked out on her twice. Sure, you can maybe try to find another babysitter. That's not easy. And then a flat tire, that happens. So things that were kind of out of her control are things that she was having to deal with that created her crisis.
So how do you step in that moment? Do you take care of the flat tire? Do you
No,
provide nursery?
Yeah, so our crisis nursery, once the family drops the child off at our crisis nursery is open 24/7, 365. So we have a dedicated entrance to our crisis nursery. So if you have to bring your child in, there's a really brief intake process because we understand if you're there, you're already in a crisis. You're not looking to complete a book of paperwork.
Yeah.
You have a job to go to. You have school to go to. You have things to do. So we get our basic information that we have. And then you're free to go about your day. And then you come back to pick up your child. Now, we do have some overnight stays.
Child and parent?
No, it's child only. So if for some reason
you're working third shift.
Yeah, maybe you work a third shift. Here's an example I had. There was a mom locally. She was pregnant, and she had a few other kids, but she went into labor. I believe it was like 7 or 8 o'clock one night.
Oh wow!
And
Wow.
I believe she had to catch the bus to the hospital
What?
with her kids. So we get a call from the hospital, and now, mind you, this is about 8 o'clock at night, and now we're compiling together extra people because we're already staffed fully, and we have kids in our program of a night. Now we need more people to come in overnight to help this mom who's getting ready to go into labor with her 3 kids that can't go anywhere else. She doesn't have anywhere for them to go.
Yeah.
So we were able to coordinate the pickup from the hospital with the kids and bring them to our crisis nursery while mom could take care of her issues. Well, not her issues, take care of, have the baby.
Yeah. So in moments, you do provide transportation for the children when needed.
That was kind of a one-off, to be honest.
Wow.
That was kind of a one-off, the transportation aspect, but we knew we had to do something.
Yeah.
Because the hospital's no place to have kids while mom's in labor, so we had to do something. So we don't make it a habit to pick up and transport, but that was something that we could do in that instance.
In those situations where it's
Yes.
last resort.
Last resort. You know, we get referrals in a crisis nursery from so many folks. There was a family at the Ronald McDonald House. I believe they were from Danville. They had I believe it was like a 4-year-old. I don't recall if it was a boy or girl, but then they had an 18-month-old boy or girl.
Mm-hmm.
Mom and dad were here. Dad finally had to go back to work. They didn't have a lot of a support system back home or here. Dad finally had to go back to work. Mom was here. She had her 4-year-old who was having health issues, and she had her 18-month-old, which is a handful in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
So we received a referral from Ronald McDonald House. Mom came down, looked at it. We talked to Mom. So we were able, I don't recall the exact amount of days, but when Mom was with her son during the day, we had her daughter during the day. So she didn't have to worry about her. It's, again, crisis impacts everybody. Everybody has crisis. It just looks different. And that's why we don't try to define crisis.
You're the community support system.
Yeah, for the lack of that's a great term. We have a lot of community partners. You know, nonprofits can't do anything without community partners.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we do have community partners and a great network system of referrals because we're all stronger together, and and we're only as strong as our weakest members in society, and we have to build everybody up.
So referrals are great, but can people just reach out on their own without a referral coming in?
Absolutely. If somebody needs help, we have our website, we have our phone number. If you want to stop in 8 to 4:30 Monday through Friday, if you have a question, somebody is there to answer your questions and help navigate you to the area maybe you would like to go.
So let's before we continue, let's give them the website.
Yep, it's Crittenton Centers with an S.org.
Crittenton Centers.
That's right.
Crittenton. It took me a little bit when I first saw it. I was like, when I got the submission for this, I'm like, Crittenton? No, Crittenton.
No, you're not the first one, Ross. You're not the first one. Don't forget the S after centers, though, because that will go to another Crittenton Centers in Iowa.
Really? Okay, so Crittenton Centers. Now, let's give them the phone number just in case.
309-674-0105.
So, Crittenton Centers, with an S, has been here in Peoria locally for 100+ years. Mm-hmm. So, with that being said, the organization is older than some buildings around here.
That's right.
What has allowed you guys to keep chasing this mission, and why do you think it's been a mission that has been so essential that you've been around for 130 years?
Well, one of our taglines, stronger families, stronger communities. If you have a strong family system, you're going to have a stronger community. We all live in a community of some sort of a family structure, whether it's a traditional structure or something that might be considered non-traditional. And I think that's the word people. People will always have some sort of crisis and issues that arise. We're a resource to help people navigate that so it doesn't take away from their their core day-to-day duties, like I referenced earlier with the mom who was just ready to go to work and then she had a flat tire and now her whole world's upside down.
Yeah.
So it's easy, and it's a sign of strength to ask for help, and that's why we want to make sure we're here as a resource for people that do want to ask for help. That way we can help tie you to what you need service-wise.
So we're talking about your vast amount of services that you provide. We already talked about your crisis nursery program. Let's talk about a little bit more in depth about the other ones that you now provide.
Absolutely. Our Milestones program, it's a home visiting program that we scour the area, Woodford County and Tazewell County and Peoria County.
Also, you cover a vast area.
Absolutely right. For the 135 years, we've served Peoria, Tazewell, and Woodford counties.
The entire time?
I believe so, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and that's one of our things. We may not have a physical footprint like we do in Peoria with our crisis nursery, but our home visitors are out there making that impact through our Milestones program. So what's Milestones programs? Some of our families, when I was a new parent, I sure as heck didn't know what to expect. I was a deer in headlights. Even if you know what to expect, it's almost like being a deer in headlights, right?
You can read every book under the sun.
You're not going to get anywhere. Yeah. So what I like to say, we have almost life cycle services. We have a doula program that was just created last year. Ross, I'm going to ask you, do you know what a doula is?
No, immediately my mind goes to Duolingo.
Yeah, mine too. I have a French streak going on, but I'll tell you what a doula actually is.
Oh, for real? Nice.
Yeah,
Good job, man.
yeah. So a doula, in my very limited knowledge and capacity, is an emotional support person, non-medical person that helps not just mom but families who are in labor from 7 months to when the baby's born, and a couple months afterwards. So you have a resource. We have a resource at Crittenton. We have two doulas. One is a community doula. That means she can see anybody. If anybody wants to see a doula, we have a person that can do that. Another one of our doulas, she works with some of our clients. It's a referral from other programs that we have. So when I was having a child, it was a little unknown. So if I would have had somebody there at 7 months to kind of help me calm my fears, help me lobby for myself with my doctors, because let's face it, doctors, they're there to give you medicine, deliver the babies. They're not there to hold your hand and explain the process to you. That's where it can be a scary process. That's where a doula can come in.
So take me through that process. I've not had the privilege to have a child. I just have an amazing dog.
Yeah, they're not as messy sometimes.
Not for lack of trying. No, I'm fine. No, but take me through that. What are some things that an individual that's first time going through those? You said 7 months?
Yeah, 7 months. Once an individual's 7 months pregnant, up through I think 3 months after the baby's born, you have a doula with you.
So if I'm a first-time parent, what are some things that are going through my mind where I'm like, I wish I have somebody, like say I don't have family, I don't have friends, I'm by myself. What kind of things?
Well, that's a good point. I mean, and there's no such thing as people don't know what they don't know. So that could be as simple, do you have the right car seat just to even leave the hospital? Do you even have a right car seat that you can be?
There's different car seats?
Yeah. I can't tell you the exact difference, but do you have the right car seat for your baby? You know,
I just thought they all came standard. See, I'm not prepared right now.
See, Ross, I'm here to help you.
Thank you, bro. Where's the website one more time?
Yeah, it is CrittentonCenters.org with an S.
That's a good plug, actually, when you think about it.
I like that. It was good.
But like what? Or like here you feel the baby kick a certain way, but that's not how they normally kick. It's like certain anxiety also you guys help people through?
Well, yeah, and it's about when mom's is pregnant or in the middle of labor. I am not going to try to understand what's going on there and try to verbalize that with words. Obviously, there's strategies that our doula can help with that can maybe help with the pain. Or maybe there's something that the doctor, the hospital staff hasn't done yet that she can say, hey, is this possible? Could you give her this that might help her because she's in pain?
Speak from a position of wisdom where it's like, hey,
yes.
I've helped other individuals that haven't had a support system, that may not have knowledge of it. It's not lack of, not trying or
Yeah.
not trying to find the knowledge. It's just, if you don't know, you don't know.
It's hard. Life is hard enough without having to find information. Trying to dig for it and find some basic information. It can be scary having a baby. It's scary when you know what's coming. It's scary. I can only imagine how scary it is when you have no idea.
Like, I can't even imagine, man. I remember, first time animal owner,
Yep.
my dog wimps a certain way, and I'm immediately rushing to the pet ER. $600 later, all he did was sprain himself, and I was fine.
Yeah.
I can't imagine with a full blown baby on your own, or at least like two parents that don't have a support system. So you guys offer services for, let's say, mom and dad are at home, but they're working 2-3 jobs to make through.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll use an example, a doula example that I heard of from a former, or not a former client, somebody who could have used the services. Let's put it that way. And I think it's a good way to describe it. This person, their wife was going to be induced to have a baby. They get called at like 8 o'clock Sunday morning, said, "Hey, be at the hospital at 6 o'clock tonight. We're going to induce you. You're going to have a baby." Great. The person went in there, they induced. I know it's not always a spur of the moment thing, but labor didn't start. They kept trying. Labor didn't start. 48 hours later, Tuesday night at 8 o'clock, 2 days after they induced her labor, they had to do a C-section.
What?
So that mom is spending 48 hours not knowing really what's going on. The dad, is just trying to support mom.
Yeah.
And somewhere in there, that would have been an ideal situation to have a doula to help advocate for you, because they're an advocate.
Okay. Where they came in and had those conversations that you've never had before.
Yeah, because dad's trying to make sure mom's out of pain. As a dad, he's running around doing everything he can, just trying to keep her calm and do what she needs. And he's just trying to manage her without trying to give his opinion to the doctors, I guess you could say.
Yeah, because in my mind, if I'm in that situation, this is the woman I love. She's having my child.
Mm-hmm.
She's freaking out. I'm trying not to freak out.
Yeah.
We know maybe the same amount of knowledge. I may have forgot to read that last book you told me to read, baby. My bad.
Mm-hmm.
But now somebody with a little bit more wisdom, like if I were to have my mother there who's had 3 kids, she might have more information.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that resource available to you, bam, doula.
Yeah.
Here we go.
And that's the thing too. It's such a great resource to kick off your journey, on parenthood, the right way. I would love to, we plugged the website CrittentonCenters.org a few times, but on the front of our website, we've got a new video that we posted about our doula program. We just showed that, I think, for the first time Friday, put it up, I believe Friday.
Okay.
So we have, if that's not up yet, we'll have it up soon. We just did that Friday.
For this month that you are a part of the KZ Cares program, I'll make sure I repurpose that on our Facebook, just so it can be readily accessible, readily accessible for people that are listening. You can either go to the website, which is
Crittenton Centers with an S.org.
It's like we were trained together,
Yeah, it's like in this 15 minutes here, so I think we've got something going.
It'll also be on our Facebook page. We'll be posting stuff from the organization, Crittenton Centers.org. Plug away, hello. Make sure you go check it out. They have new stuff on there.
Yeah.
But we'll also put that on our Facebook page just so people can immediately go there, and we'll just try to get the message out as best as possible.
Absolutely.
So we have Duo. We also have Crisis Nursery. And what other programs do you have?
Yeah, we have our Family Advocacy Center. That primarily, I'll go back to our Milestones program real quick. So basically Milestones, what's Milestones really? We're teaching parents what to look for. Where should your 2-year-old be now? That Milestones program goes up to 3, and then we also have a positive parenting program that goes 3 to 6. So the Milestones, where should your 2-year-old be right about now? Should he be holding the fork, walking, or whatever the case is? Is your child where they should be at physically and emotionally? It gives them something to look for.
Quick pause. I feel like that's the fire alarm.
Yeah, it's something.
And we're back. You all know what happened?
Go ahead and tell them, Ross.
So, the place where we broadcast is also the apartment complex, and at least once every couple of weeks, there's a fire alarm. And usually it always happens when I'm in the middle of a podcast recording, which is hysterical because that's the way the fates of the winds run over here. Today, I heard it, and instead of kept going and someone had to interrupt us, I was what we call prepared.
You took care of me, Ross. I appreciate that.
I was like, Brent, let's go. I picked him up. I
Threw me over his shoulder, and down we went.
80s action started him up. Arnold Schwarzenegger. I was like, let's go. Get to the chopper. We kept going. And we get downstairs like, oh, it was a test.
Better safe than sorry.
So we're back now. Hello. Thanks for listening. We're going to leave this in because it's great content. Mm-hmm. So, Brent, we were talking about the different services you have, right?
Yeah.
We talked about remind me real quick. We had talked about the crisis nursery.
Yeah, and then I think we were talking about the doula, and then the milestones program.
Yes.
And then the milestones program, touching back on that. Yeah, that's where, where is your child where they're supposed to be at developmentally, physically, mentally? Do you know that what to look for? So our home visitors that go out to Tazewell, Peoria, and Woodford County all the time with families, they bring age-appropriate games for families to play because sometimes, families, they don't have the extra income to buy a game or other items.
Like Uno.
Yeah, even Uno. So, something that's educational that can help. That's what we really try to provide on our visits. We have our Triple P program, which is positive parenting, and that's a similar program that teaches strategies to the parents.
What's the third P?
Positive parenting program.
Ah!
Yeah. that P for program still counts.
There you go. No, it does. It's a word.
It is. It's a word. But yeah, so that's also teaching parents what should you look for in your child, so you're able to meet the needs properly. So we're not just leaving parents high and dry. We want to be able to be there for them, to serve them in whatever capacity they need. Whether it's identifying their needs, their child's physical needs, or making sure they're where they're supposed to be.
Dude, that's awesome. So these are the totality of the programs you have, or there's some more?
Yeah, there's a lot that goes in with all these programs, but those are the gist of our programs. The Crisis Nursery, the Family Advocacy Center, and the Family Services, and the doula program, Milestones, and Triple P all fall under the umbrella of the Milestones.
So we've talked about the different programs you have.
Yes, sir.
But let's talk about the different people you have on staff, the ones that make this happen. Who are some names and faces that if a community member were to walk into, what's the address again?
It's 442 West John Gwynn Jr. Avenue.
So if we were to walk up into Crittenton Centers, who's there to greet us? What type of people are we meeting? What type of programs do they run? Where are they attached to? Let's pay some respect to the individuals that are also pouring their heart back into the community.
Absolutely. We could, we couldn't do what we do without our coordinators and our front-facing partners. What they deal with heavy stuff on a daily basis, and they do it with such class and dignity. And that's one thing I think when you walk into Crittenton, you kind of understand and realize that we're there for you. We're there to help you. We're a resource, and we want to do that as confidentially and private and to your needs as possible. So when you walk in, our office manager, Alex, she's awesome. She can get you directed to the right person anytime you stop in.
And who's the duo? You said you had two on staff, right?
Yeah, we have two doulas on staff, very experienced doulas. Stephanie is one of our doulas. She was from the area originally and just relocated back to the Central Illinois area from California, where she was a doula, I believe, for 18 plus years. So she's got a ton of experience. Angelina is our secondary doula, who, as fate would have it, came about 6 months later. She had been local for 18 months, but she was also originally from California, and she's an experienced doula. So we're extremely fortunate to have Jelena and Stephanie overseeing our doula program and really helping us establish it. They have that perfect presence. I can't describe it, but they have the perfect presence to do what they do.
this is going to be a pun, but this seems to be a labor of love.
Bump. I appreciate it. I still appreciate
thank you,
it.
man. This, a little.
You have your flowers.
Thank you, sir. But what have been some big W's that your team has had over the years that you've seen? You've been there for how many years now?
I've been there going on 2 years.
2 years. So
Yeah.
what are some big W's that you've seen where you were able to see the center come through in totality, where you're like, you know what? This is why I do what I do.
So we had a mom it was last year. She had gone through various services. I don't work a lot with our clients on the direct services, so this is some secondhand, but she was working with different services that we had for years. She was engaged. She did a great job. And when she had her second child, she signed up for services before just so she could have that comfort level.
She had the trust built in.
Yeah, she had that trust. So she wanted to keep that trust going. Last year, I believe she relocated out of state, and it was a sad experience, but she got to a point in her life to where she could move closer to some more family in Iowa. But I don't think she would have been ready for that if she didn't have some of these services that we had at Crittenton to help her with either one of her children.
It's the small W's that mean the most, huh?
It is. It's a lot of these families. It's not a snap your fingers and we're going to fix your problem just like that. It's definitely not that. It's a work in progress that takes time, and it's not always fun, but it's necessary. And when you see a mom like the mom I just mentioned, proactively asking for help and services, that's when you know you've made an impact. When she says, "I see the value," and I would like to have that again. So you can see when that makes that impact.
As an individual, what's that feel like?
Oh man, it's great. Children and families. I mean, you don't have to have children to get behind. I think everybody has that same genuine desire to see everybody be happy with minimal stress and conflict.
Oh yeah.
It's not life's not perfect, and we can't make it perfect, but if we can give some support to some of our most vulnerable in the community, that's just going to make our community stronger. And like we say, stronger families, stronger communities.
Yeah, it's the small things. It's the individual that came back for the second child, knowing that the trust and wisdom you guys have is such foundational for them that it's a community now.
That's right. And really, that's where we do try to get some of our clients. And it's an extremely personal situation, but we've had a couple clients that were more than willing to share their stories because they know that can make an impact to others. And that's what we try to do. Between our amazing coordinators that work with our clients one-on-one on a daily basis, on a Saturday night at 9:00 at night when they need something, our doula randomly spent, I think it was Easter weekend, basically in the hospital with a mom, or at least was in communication and up there with her.
Oh, even on holiday weekend.
Yeah, she's there for her client, and that's the cool part. I think that what a lot of the clients see, it's like when somebody shows up for you, you can recognize it.
Yeah,
you can recognize it because a lot of times people don't have that support system, and when they see it, I think that's that aha moment when you can see that impact.
Well, yeah, I mean, a holiday weekend where everybody has plans, and here's an individual who, for lack of better terminology, is pretty much still a stranger to me, even though we're in association and we're down a path. But this isn't my best friend. This isn't my mother. This isn't my aunt, my godmother. Yeah. Somebody of a stable foundation, but this is somebody who's willing to give up a Easter holiday.
Yeah, and that's coming from, so you meet this person, say maybe at 7 months pregnant, and you're having the baby at 9 months pregnant. So like you just said, Ross, our doulas develop a great rapport with people, but it's just not that natural, I've known you my whole life rapport. But our doulas, that's where they can make it seem like you have known them all their life. They have a special way they can communicate. It's really admirable, and it does, and that's a personal moment for a family or a mom when they're having having a baby. That's a personal moment to have a basic stranger in there.
Yeah.
So being able to
intimate
put them
moment.
very intimate. Being able to put them at ease. That's what our doulas do extremely well. That's what all of our workers do really well with the clients. They put them at ease. It's a judgment-free zone.
Now, there's something you said earlier that stuck with me where crisis looks different to different people.
Mm-hmm.
Say there's somebody that's going through, let's say, just a hard time to them.
Yeah.
But it may be manageable, but it'd be easier coming to you guys. What's your pitch to them saying, hey, don't be stubborn. Come on now.
Yeah, asking for help, again, is a sign of strength. It's, I know in years past, I think, in history, we've tried to hang our hats on, the more I do, if I can't do it all myself, then it doesn't count. That's not accurate. We're all doing the best we can, and we all need help at different times. So, yeah, ask for that help. Don't think twice about it, and there's no such thing as a silly question. I was asked by somebody before, and I had to ask because I really didn't know, to be honest. There was a family that was in a situation where they needed help with some paperwork. A family member was pregnant. They had resources. They had financial resources. Their son, I believe, was 18, and they needed help filling out paperwork. So I reached out to one of our coordinators, and he was having a child, and that was what the paperwork was around. And I assume it's not my business, but I put him in contact. I put Dad in contact with our coordinator to let him work that out, but help them complete the paperwork.
Yeah, it could be something so simple as I've never been through this procedure before.
Yeah,
but that's your chaos in the moment.
Yeah, and again, that's a lot of the unknown is something to be scared of, especially when you're having a baby. You want people there that have your genuine best interest at heart, and that's what our folks do.
So with reaching out, let's give the phone number one more time.
Yeah, it's 309-674-0105.
Let's put a hypothetical out there real quick,
Yes.
just so we could put ourselves in the situation of a common person here in Peoria in the 309. Let's say me and my wife are at the hospital. She's going through some pains. My focus is on that. I got a kid with me, and I have to fill out paperwork. I feel like I can take care of my kid and mom. Can I call you in that moment and be like, hey, I need help processing this paperwork or understanding the legality of whatever I'm signing and woo-woo-wah-wah and all that?
I will say, not maybe at that minute, like, oh my gosh, now I'm going to labor at 7 o'clock at night. Probably not in that aspect, but when it's coming to really like the pre-planning paperwork, I guess that would be the best way to put it. I've looked at some of the, you look at state forms and hospital forms. If somebody can decipher those clearly, more power to them. I sure can't.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's certainly that's an avenue that. How many times have we signed something we don't even know what we're signing?
There's a Black Mirror episode out there about that.
Yeah.
Not a plug. They don't pay us, but it's a great episode. But like, say if it's a different situation where we're there, I got the paperwork, but my child needs daycare services.
Yes.
That's when we reach out to you.
Yeah, that would probably that would start from the hospital end, and they would call for the referral services and stuff like that. So yeah, we we partner with all the hospitals locally, Family House, Neighborhood House, Children's Home. We partner with
There's so many wraparound services.
Yeah, there are, and we don't try to be everything to everyone. And I think most nonprofits in town, they do try to stick with their niche, because if we can partner together and stick with our own niches, we're gonna make more of an impact.
I've heard that a lot. So I've been here about 3 years now, and I think one thing I've heard is just a lot of organizations like to operate as silos. And if we're able to actually put together all the organizations that just care, you care for this column, I care for that column, but maybe you have resources because your column may need something from time to time. It's just creating that community among our nonprofits.
Yeah.
Would be amazing. And I'm glad that you're able to do, you have referrals from different organizations like Neighborhood House, which do great things.
Yeah.
But we also have, what's the one right here by the highway? Andy King.
Oh, Dream Center.
Dream Center.
Yeah, Dream Center is a tremendous partner of ours. Really, most nonprofits in the area are really good community partners with each other. Sometimes, it's good because you know where to go to get that, for a specific resource that may be in your wheelhouse where it's not in my wheelhouse. But we know we have folks. I'll kind of use an example. The Howie, was it from the United Way, the mobile shower that
Yeah, I saw they have. Yeah.
so they have that around. So we every once in a while at our building we have some homeless population around, so we'll have them come down in the spring and summer a couple times.
Really?
Yeah, every once in a while, just to give our friends a chance to wash up or whatever they need.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, so we do that. We have them come down in the summer to do that. So that's just another service, a way to partner. It's like it may not be our mission directly, but we all know we have an unhoused situation in town.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something little that we can do to help that population.
Fill this blank in for me, brother.
Yeah.
If every person listening today could just do one thing for Peoria's kids, it would be?
That would be to give just a little time. Just a little time.
Mentorship, role model.
Yeah, mentorship, role models. If I can tie this into a story too. It sounds like I came prepared with all these stories, but I love relaying real life situations.
Please do.
We had a mom, or not a mom. Yeah, well, a mom. She was, I don't know if she had just started college or was getting ready to. She was going to nursing school. And we had somebody who, I believe she volunteered briefly. I've never met her. I've only talked to her twice. And she just felt a connection with this mom. So mom was going to nursing school. So this individual who lives in our community she pick up her daughter. She would watch her daughter if she could, but if she had to work, she would bring her daughter to the crisis nursery for her. She would take the mom to her classes and help her out. So now she makes a very generous donation every year in honor of that mom she helped. And talk about impact, that goes right back to it. And so when I seen that come in, I followed up with the person, and she told me the story, and I was like, my gosh, that's the story that really hits you. Yeah. Somebody took ownership over that individual, and give credit to mom. Mom went to school dealing with this stuff. She didn't give up. She just kept moving. And she had assistance, but we all need help.
What's something you've seen of the Peoria community since you've been helping that makes you very proud to call yourself Peorian?
Oh, honestly, it's you hear all the time we're so philanthropic in the community, and we're extremely philanthropic in the community. So all that means is you have a lot of committed and caring people in the community that want to make an impact, whether that's helping children and families at Crittenton Centers, or maybe that's helping another organization that's definitely more than willing. I think that's what really sticks out about Peoria, and you hear it from a lot of folks that come in that are new to the area. Peoria seems to be a different animal. It seems like we take ownership of some of the problems, and we try to solve them as a community for the most part.
Look how many organizations have wraparound centers. Look how many focus on the youth. Fill the book back campaigns that happen, fire truck, shout to Chanel, and all of them. But it's like there's a lot of organizations, including Crittenton Centers, that goes out their way to help our community in the most critical times. And in the moments where chaos is kind of happening, you're there as the lifeline and the friend that you didn't think you had, but you do have around the corner.
Yep.
And what corner block are you guys on one more time?
We are on John Gwynn Jr.
Let me ask you this. What's a dream you have for Crittenton's future that keeps you fired up on the day-to-day?
Well, it may sound kind of lazy, but it's nice to have a general umbrella of children and families, because it's so broad. Everything falls under that. So it gives us the opportunity to shift our direction to, if we need to. When our doula program's only a year and a half old.
Yeah.
So we shifted and we created the doula program. So if we have the opportunity down the line and we see another opportunity to shift, again, we serve to meet the needs of the people in the community, and half the time society dictates what those needs are that people need. So when that time's there, that's, we want to be flexible to be able to provide services that are needed.
Speaking of shifts and modifications, you guys are going through a slight rebranding, which you shared with me off the mic. Yeah.
Glad you mentioned that, Ross. Yeah,
it's like we're both.
I see what you did there.
It's like we're both media trained.
Yeah, no. So we've been around 135 years, as we've obviously stated on here, but we just recently, as of yesterday, held a ribbon cutting for our brand new rebrand. We have a brand new logo. We have a brand new website. We're getting brand new materials. That was the first. We had our current logo. Everybody knows our colorful hands around our Crittenton Centers name. We had that for 20 to 25 years. It was time to kind of freshen it up a little bit. It kind of serves as an unofficial restart. We were able to really address the website, and there's more stuff coming, but make it less text heavy. Because it's kind of hard to understand stuff about programs in depth if you don't need that directly. So we have work we're doing on it. But it was great to be able to bring a fresh new perspective because we're reaching new people. We're keeping the C in our Crittenton name. And I'll give you a little breakdown, Ross. Our C, if you go to our website or if you see our new logo anywhere, our C is the base of our logo now. It's divided into three people, that C is. One is the Crittenton family, one is the family, and one is the child. So we're all coming together under the Crittenton Center umbrella to serve the needs of the family and the child.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So it's now what year are we on now for Crittenton?
This is the 135th year, is it 135th? 1892.
A lot of numbers. I'm here for my jokes.
Yeah, me too. I mean, we've been around since 1892, so we've undergone different rebrandings, but this adds a great new perspective to us. And it's really about, in the times we're in, it's visual appeal. It's about catching people visually. And
you can have a great product, but if the name isn't out there enough where people know that in the moment they can call you, and this is a new era for you guys. This is where you're only as good as the market behind you. Let's put it that way. And you guys have so many services with the new established year in or under a year, is it?
The doula program's about a year and a half now, yeah.
Year and a half now. And how have we been seeing that mature over the year and a half?
Well, honestly, it was we started the process. It started before I got there. But we started the process, and Stephanie, our doula, she was the first one in, and she started really establishing the program. It was new to a lot of us. Well, it was definitely new to me, but it was new to the agency. So we were fortunate that she was able to help build it out. And then when Jelena came on to finish help building that out, so now we're in that point to where we have a community doula that can see whoever. And then we have Jelena as the doula that can work with some of our clients.
So our community, there's a lot of individuals that have big hearts and want to get involved. Yeah. Do you have any positions right now in case individuals are listening to this and be like, you know what? My skill set lines up. Maybe I can help out somewhere.
Yeah, I would recommend, I know we post on Indeed, and I think I'm sure we have it on our new website. We should have it on our new website, right?
Which is?
Which is CrittentonCenters.org. Centers with an S.
An S.
But yeah, it's something that, we're fortunate to be able to grow. Not everybody's in a position where they can create nonprofits. So now in regards to helping out, that's something we're revamping our volunteer program a little bit. I like talking to people. I love talking to people. So I could put on my website or on a piece of paper what I would love help with. And I do, we want you to share our social media posts, follow us on social media, come for a tour. I'd love to have you come for a tour and find out a little bit more about Crittenton. That goes to you too, Ross.
I'll come down. I'm down.
And then, sharing social media posts, coming to an event. All those things are great. But what about you? I can't speak to you as an individual or this business specifically. So do you have a heart for children and families? Do you have something you think would help benefit Crittenden and that's something you want to help with, let's talk. I'm not, yeah, let's talk. If I don't know what may work for your business. I may give you an idea and you might say, no, that doesn't work for me. But if you've got an idea, let's talk.
You never know. There may be a new program somewhere that,
Yeah.
you never knew that this type of resource was available to you.
Yeah, you don't know the resources, but I enjoy connecting with people, and that's, as a community, and I think we do that really well in Peoria. I mean, Peorians as a whole does that really well, connect with each other, but there's always conversations to be had. I had a great conversation this morning. It was great, got me all jazzed up and it's not something I would have thought about. So that's the thing. I have a lot going in my head. It doesn't all make it out on paper. So I welcome conversations if you have a reason to help, or if you have a desire to
help. Before we wrap up, are there some things we have not covered that you want people to know about Crittenton Centers in totality?
Yeah, just give a little rundown, I guess. So, yeah, when I said come for a tour, we do try to get people in the door. There's so much more, I think, that comes out when you're really there. It really triggers people, I think, their thought process. So, come for a tour. It's or if you have any questions, feel free. You'll have our contact information. You can reach out to us. But we do post our wish list monthly. I do want to mention that. We do
wish list.
Yeah, our wish list. So from all of our programs, if our wish list allows us to provide like some of our items for our home visiting kits. It helps us provide diapers, wipes, formula. For an example, last year we handed out over 85,000 supplemental diapers that didn't meet the need of the request.
85,000 that didn't even meet the requirement?
We handed out over 900 packages of wipes, and we were still being asked, and over, I think, 250 cans of formula, and we were being asked. And I'll be honest, formula and diapers are expensive. I couldn't imagine
trying to hearing about that.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine trying to do that now. Trying to support with formula and wipes, or diapers. That's crazy.
In today's economy, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, and so we hand those. That doesn't reach the full. That's supplemental. So we try, and that's money that we have to spend from our that we don't really budget in for some of those items that we have if they're not covered by grant dollars or funders or other funding options. So that's something where we have to. We want to really keep people engaged in what we do, and we want people to understand what we do. And I think we can,
by joining the community of Crittenton Centers, you're empowering the community to achieve better things.
Yeah, and it's time. It could be time, it could be talent, and it could be treasure, or it could be all three. Not everybody has time to give, but I talked to an individual this morning. He gave me an example of a volunteer he talked to. He said, I talked to him. He said, if you ask me to help with this program, I have zero time to help. It's just a busy time. He said, I have more treasure than I have time. So he goes, if you need me to help fund part of that, I'll do that. And that's what that individual did for them. So that's the same thing with us. We, these supplemental items, that helps us. So we're not the ones, we're not trying to
break the back.
Break the back. And that's bus cards too, and that's different things like that go to our families.
Oh, and bus cards.
Yeah, just so many options. So we have our wish list posted, and we finished our Crittenton Community Care Drive. That just ended. And that's kind of the kickoff to where we try to collect the diapers, wipes, formula. I will say this, formula is obviously a big need for us right now, but like this year alone, we collected just over 17,000 diapers.
Already. Wow.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
We had a great year with it, but then we have to try to scramble to find those needs, because the last thing we want to do, we hate turning people away. If they come to us, they say, if some of our families come to us, I'm like, do you have some diapers we could borrow for the month? We only let folks take diapers one time a month supplementally. We don't just hand out packages. And when we don't have it to give, we know they're asking for a reason. And if we don't have it to give, we don't like to do that. We like to try to be a one-stop shop for them. It's not always possible, but we try.
Especially if you think about it, it's an individual that may have a little bit a harder time to ask for assistance, and that one moment they ask, you're not able to provide.
Yes,
that stress level of they'll never be back because we weren't able to provide for them.
That's 100% right. You have to make it easy for people, and not out of anything other than everybody. You have to make things easy for me, or I don't do it.
Yeah.
And that's just the way life is now, I think. So we want to make it easy. It's something that important. If it's a crisis situation or it's something like that, we need to be able to provide something for you if we can. And that's to say, if we have, if for some reason we didn't have something that you needed, we obviously have referral sources, and we partner with them all the time, and we would take care of it that way.
No, that's great that even over the years, you're still growing and you're still creating those networks and those collaborations and building the community. 100%. Because we all share the same blocks. We drive down the same streets. We shop at almost the same places. We go to the same places of worship.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We share things here.
That's right.
And a community that comes together and shares more, especially just sharing this message and getting people out. There's going to be somebody that listens to this and be like, "Oh, I never knew about Crittenton Centers."
That's right. If we just reach one person who hasn't heard of us before, I think that's doing what my goal is to, just because we've been around 130 years, that doesn't mean everybody knows this. I mean, you have doctors and folks from Caterpillar kept moving in and out, folks from Bradley moving in and out. So you have new people coming in and out all the time. We have to keep retelling our message and what we do. And it's easy to forget that when you've been around for over 100 years, but it's necessary.
And was it Adrian who filled the
Adriana,
form?
Yeah.
Adriana, shout out to her for reaching out.
She's my brain and my right hand, that is for sure. She keeps me on track.
No, I'm glad that she filled out the submission. Because I'll be honest, I'm one of those individuals, mind you, I'm from Chicago, it's 3 years, but there's still no excuse. I should have probably done my due diligence. See, I'll take the blame on that one. But after I saw the website of what you guys do, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know. And you've been here for 100 plus. Whoa, that's real interesting.
Yeah. There's not too terribly many nonprofits in the area. It's been around over 100 years. But, you don't get to stick around for 100 years by accident either. That means you keep doing the good work, and you're a trusted community steward. It's
a double-sided coin where you're like, no, I'm so happy we've been able to do this, but
you want to put yourself out of business, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Well, I forgot what chair. It was a nonprofit I worked with years ago where they're like, no, my goal is to one day this place not be needed. Yep. I was like, oh, that is an interesting perspective I never thought about. But they're like, until then, we have to work our ass off and make sure we give people supported where they need.
That's right. That would be great. It would be amazing to try to, we solved the problem. Let's close up shop. Yeah. When you have people involved, children and families, when you have people involved, it's, people are unique and we all have different personalities. So there's always going to be some sort of correlation that where Crittenton will be needed, I think, just because people are unique.
Well, yeah, I mean,
to ourselves and our situations.
The core nucleus of our society is the family, man.
That's right.
They are the ones who usher in the next generation that hopefully, knock on wood, are able to do better than what we were able to do as adults now. Mm-hmm. And in those times where individuals need support, they need help, and they got nobody to go to, you're that foundational piece for 100 plus years in this community that says, no, you can trust us even though you're not ready to trust us yet.
Yeah.
But we're growing with you. We have new programs. We're in a new era in our not leadership, but a new chapter within our story, and we're only growing with you.
That's right. It's a judgment-free zone. We're meeting you where you're at, growing with where you need to be, where you want to go. And that's our goal. We have no other motivation other than to get you to where you need to go and where you want to go. That's our ultimate goal, and to get you there in the best way possible.
Well, for this month of May, you guys have been selected Crittenton Centers to be our spotlight for the KZ Cares program for that reason alone. You're there as a staple in our society of Peoria, in our community, as members that will be there with you in crisis.
And we appreciate that. And again, not to beat a dead horse, but partnerships are so vital to make an impact. And having a platform like this, we appreciate the opportunity just to say, hey, we're Crittenton, and this is just what we do because we're a resource. And at some point, everybody has seen crisis, and that's a resource that we can help with.
Hey, man, you guys are doing great work. I'm glad we could help the cause and broadcast the message and amplify the resources you have in any type of amount. So I'm very thankful for you to give time to come in and tell me the story, and then trust that I'll actually do my job to get the message out there.
Oh, I didn't say that yet. I just came in to tell my story. I guess we'll see how that goes, Ross.
We'll see by the end of the month. We'll see
how it goes.
We'll see. No, man. Hey, this is awesome. I'm glad we're able to partner up this month. And I'm just happy to see what can come out of it. I'm happy to see just the amplification of the message.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully we're able to direct some people down your way. Then you're able to put some smiles on faces and some reassurance in some hearts. And just the foundation of community is important now more than ever, man.
It is. And we just, life's hard enough. We don't need to make it harder. If we can all just do a little something to help somebody out, doesn't have to be a big thing. If we can just do one little act of kindness, that goes a long way.
And on that note, I like that. Before I do my quick little wrap up, brother, let us plug away that website and phone number.
Yeah, you'll want to visit Crittenton Centers with an S.org or call 309-674-0105. And we are located at 442 West John H. Gwynn Jr. Avenue in Peoria.
Give them a call, visit the website, or go walk in and see the emotional value of the community that they've built. Nice. Here we go. It has been another episode of the KZ Community Beat. I'm your host, Ross Martinez. This episode has been a special edition of the KZ Cares program. For the month of May in 2025, we are spotlighting the Crittenton Centers with an S here locally in Peoria. And my guest today was Brent Oest, the Development Director over at Crittenton Centers. And to get more information, you can go to crittentoncenters.org or visit our website, kz1023.com. With that being said, we welcome the Crittenton Centers to the KZ families, and we love all the hard work you're doing, man.
Well, we appreciate it, and we appreciate the opportunity.
And we shared a very cool moment, man.
We did. That's the first time I've been doing an interview and had to run out in a fire drill. I mean, can we do it again next time?
I can fake one, bro. You met my dog and everything. It was great. With that being said, I appreciate you. Shout out to Crittenton Centers. Shout out to Adriana for making sure we connected today. And as always, the website is
CrittentonCenters.org.